primarily on simple tips on how to avoid diseases that accompany work from home, scenarios. And we have Dr. Bhavneet Bawa with us, who's the consulting homeopath with Dr. Batra's healthcare. Dr. Kaur has over 15 years of experience, and she has treated more than 10,000 patients. And she has expertise in treating cases of trachology, dermatology, respiratory, and pediatrics. So wide variety of experience, with her. So we will again carry on with this session, and in a similar format where Dr. Bawa would basically take the give us some sense of or some tips of how to manage work from home life, and then post that we will try to see if you have any questions. We can take them up here on the chat box. So over to you, Dr. Bhavneet.
You are keeping safe at your homes with your families in this pandemic COVID-19, wherein work from home is a necessity of the hour for a survival in a economic crisis situation. But yes, work from home is carrying a health crisis too along with, and we must not ignore it. So when we are talking about health, there are two aspects to it: mental and a physical health. And both of them are interlinked. If the mental health is affected, the physical health gets affected too. And the vice versa is true. So today I'll be taking up simple tips on how to take care of both interlinked with each other, so that this work from home thing, we are able to survive with a better stability. So I would first like to work on the stress, the most important one, but the most ignored one, specifically in our Indian culture. Loads of work, deadlines, demanding clients, targets, which results into various health hazards like insomnia, sleep deprivation, fatigue, headaches, migraines, irritability, mood swings, loneliness, nervousness, loss of appetite, and if all of them ignored, resulting in depression, obsessive compulsive disorders, suicidal tendencies, and many more. So the simple tip to work on that is we must have an exercise schedule. For an elderly people, it should be in a form of yoga and simple exercises. And for young generation, they can go for online classes and work with a scheduled exercises. Now, schedule is very important. Why? Because if we'll be doing it off and on, again, that effectiveness will not come. And the second one is meditation. Any form of meditation, a religious or an actual meditation, spiritual meditation, whichever is comfortable. Time management is very, very important. We should have regular intervals during our work schedule, in which we should have a time management where we should have a cut-off screen time. We should have proper intervals wherein we are doing some stretching exercises or walking even, so that we are able to do that on-off mechanism. And most important is sleep. 7 to 8 hours of sleep is must, so that we are able to recharge our sympathetic nervous system to get back to action at a faster pace. Try them out, all these simple tips, but yes, still if symptoms prevail, do not ignore, and you must consult your physician, because as I discussed earlier, stress can lead to so many various causes, various problems, which we don't have to ignore. In homeopathy, we have at Dr. Batra's more than 92% success rate in dealing with the stress with homeopathic remedies which are scientifically proven, like Nux vomica, ignitia, natrum mute, sulfur, pulsatilla, lettuces, and many more. And we are all open for video conferencing anytime across all India. So you can consult the physician as well. Secondly comes the physical plane, which includes backache, neck pain, muscle fatigue, stiffness of the fingers, carpal tunnel syndrome. By the long usage of mouse, we may get the pain in the wrist area with the stiffness of our fingers. and the postural hypotension and vertigo. Now, all of them are caused by one thing, that is postural mismanagement. The workplace at home has to be well managed. And if not done, these all symptoms come. And if we are going to ignore these symptoms, we may land up into cervical spondylitis, lumbar spondylitis, disc prolapse, carpal tunnel syndrome, osteoarthritis, and so on. So the simple tips for that is, first and foremost, we should have a table with the laptop or our PC or our phone designed like that, our eye contact should be on the top level of that place. We should have a comfortable chair which should support our spine completely. We should have a pillow under our lower back to support that. We should have a massage ball with us so that at proper interval we can do the pressing as well as the rolling exercises. This will help to relax our muscles of the fingers, and plenty of water intake. And most important is the neutral position. We have to have the neutral position whenever we are consulting through the computer or a PC. So these all are the small tips which help us to have a proper posture so that this postural related problem should be minimized. And one of the things which I forgot is dry eye syndrome. By constant screen time, as we all know, during this pandemic, the screen time has increased by 72% as per WHO. So we need to cut down the screen times. Of course, we cannot cut down our work time, so we can cut down our Facebook time, our Instagram times. So that we just have to manage it well, because it is our life. So we have to manage it very nicely in whatever situation we are into right now. Cut down the screen time. And I give you a very simple tip, is a normal saline or a refreshed ears. Easily available with any chemist. We can put it 2 drops in both the eyes at an interval of 2 hours, so that the lubrication of eye should be there, so that we should not have this dry eye or a fatigue eye syndrome. Drink plenty of water is going to help out in that. And we need to also try to have a LCD screen or a glare to protect us from that radiations. Again, at Dr. Batra's, we have 96% musculoskeletal disease cure rate. Various medicines like Rustox, Ruta, Balis pranis, Actia spictata, and many more can help out in that. But yes, a word of caution, we should discuss with the physician before taking them. And now comes the most ignored, and itself is coming as a pandemic in Asia, is a weight gain or an obesity, right? Which is a very, very common thing, happens with works from home culture. Stress related results into binge eating, inappropriate eating patterns, unhealthy sleeping pattern, night watching, lack of exercises, lack of routine, all result into weight gain, and which in turn results into our acidity, acid reflux disease, constipation, decrease in the peristalsis movement of our intestine, piles is very common with that, and so on. So the most important tips which we can do in it is maintaining a eating pattern. Like what we used to do when we used to go to work, we used to plan our menu. Similar eating menu we have to plan in a day, so that during the day we follow that. It should be a patterned eating. We have to decrease our portions of meal. Like if we were taking 3 chapatis, we have to now take 2 chapatis. We have to include more of fibrous food like watermelon, like salads into our diet, especially during the night hours. We have to plan our diet like that we should have a good breakfast, moderate lunch, and a very little or marginal dinner. And plenty of waters again would help. So these are the certain things which would definitely help us. But still, if we have any of the gastrointestinal symptoms remain, or the weight is still putting on, then it's a time, because stress is also playing a major role at the back end. So thyroid, diabetes, hypertension are again are very common things which can come up. So we need to consult our physicians for the same. In homeopathy, definitely we have so many medicines like ficus, like phytolacca berry, like sulfur, like calcaria carb, which helps a lot in controlling them and helping them effectively. So just to summarize them all, setting up a proper workstation, scheduling our work and time management, setting timely intervals to work out, proper hydration with fixed pattern of meals, scheduled on and off timings of work, healthy eating habits with proper menu, daily exercising routine with meditation. And finally, the most important one is spending time with your family, bonding with them, the time which we used to crave and say we don't have, but now we have. So it's the time when we have to create wonderful memories, which would take care of all of them indeed. So wishing you all happy quarantine and happy work from home. So any question I'm open to answer.
Thank you, Doctor. So if I may request, participant, if they have any question, they can unmute themselves. We are a small group. They can unmute themselves and ask the question. So before someone thinks of, I would like to ask one question. The longer what do you call work time, especially at the work from home culture, where we really do not follow a very set punch in punch out timing, and then end up working a lot. That takes toll both on physically as well as say on your eyes if you're working continuously on computer, and then in many cases you become acidic. So is there anything which you can suggest one should be doing on a dietary side, or as a precaution, if someone is not really able to change this kind of a routine, what kind of intervention from a general home medicine point of view and as well as from a homeopathy point of view one can do?
See, Deepak, the most important thing is, as you correctly said, work from home will bring lots of gastrointestinal problems and lots of mental problems. And both are interlinked. More of the mental problem results in the secretion of a hormone called adrenaline and cortisol, which result into increased vicious cycle of stress, as well as all the gastrointestinal problems like acidity, like decreased peristaltic movement, and heartburn and all, and constipation also. So the first thing, if we are not able to manage with our routine, as you asked, the one thing which we can always do is decrease down your portions of meal.
Okay.
Since we are in sedentary lifestyle, any which ways the calories requirement is much more decreased. So we can decrease down our portion of meals is the first thing which we can do. We can try to shift ourselves from a more calories to a lesser calories. For example, if we are feeling like having a chocolate, which is a very common craving when we are sitting at home, so we can just try to shift it out by taking instead of a complete chocolate to a piece of chocolate. Instead of a piece of chocolate, we can still shift it to taking one glass of sweet lemon water, which will in fact take care of the acidity portion as well. Similarly, we can include a warm water glass after every meal. After every meal, we can have one glass of warm water, and we can have a 10 minutes of walk. So that itself will count it out to be around 30 to 40 minutes of walk during a day. And rest, we can try that whenever we are free, in between our short intervals, we should try to walk. And if not, when we are listening to our phone calls, at that time, instead of sitting and listening to the phone call, we can walk and listen to the phone call. And we can download an app. These days, lots of apps are there for the steps, by which we can just complete our 5,000 to 10,000 steps, whichever in between possible by any of us. So that at least whatever we are eating, we are at least burning that to some extent, so that it should not result in causing us these various gastrointestinal problems. And one more tip which I can give you is taking a half teaspoon of jeera in the morning, the cumin seed, with warm water will help to increase your metabolism. even when you are in sedentary lifestyle. So that eventually will help us to burn more calories.
Okay, that's a good tip. Thank you.
May I ask a question, please?
Yes,
So,
please
ma'am.
go ahead.
Yeah. So, ma'am, thank you very much for your presentation as well as the wonderful tips that you've given us. One thing I was wanting to ask you was I was suggested recently by my doctor to boil water because I had a lot of joint ache and body ache and all that. So initially I thought it was due to the domestic work for 1 month where there is no domestic help, etc. But it happened to be a stomach infection due to water. So I think boiling water should be a new normal for all of us now.
Absolutely, ma'am. These days,
boiling drinking water.
Correct. These days, instead of RO, we have got various other options also, which is RO with the mineral added to it. It's a different RO which comes up. So a change to it is we can take an RO water itself and we can boil it up. So we will be able to shed further impurities out of it and then take it. So in fact, this water is more lighter than even an RO water. Your physician must have told you. So that is also one thing which all of us can do. That is why I told to Deepak that one tip which you all can do is a glass of boiling normal lukewarm water after your every meal will help to increase burning calories also.
All right. Very good. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
So I have one question here on the chat. What is the ideal number of hours of sleep needed?
So ideal number of sleeping hours is 7 to 8 hours. Of course, it's very, very important. In between power naps is something which can work for some. Those who are inclined to use more of brain and more of strategic kind of profiles and all. But 7 to 8 hours of sleep is must. Like these days we are looking on is that first of all we are doing work from home. We are closing down our schedule late. And then after that feeling that now we are a free bird and then going for watching movie till 2 o'clock in the night, thinking that now we are free, so we are allowed to do all this and then doing all the bunje eating, and then finally 8 o'clock back to work. So this way we are doing work, we are doing so-called imaginary relaxation, but ideally neither our brain relax nor our body relax. And we all need to understand that healthy body stays, healthy soul stays in a healthy body. So we need to cater our soul also along with our body. So for body we require exercises, and for soul we require proper sleep and meditation in whichever form which is comfortable to all of you.
Okay. Is there anyone who wants to ask the question? Otherwise, I have one text box question which I can take. So someone is asking that this. Well, does afternoon nap disturb your night sleep patterns?
Yeah. So see, when we are talking about afternoon nap, first of all, there are various meanings of afternoon nap, which people changes as per their convenience. So when we are talking about afternoon nap, it is a nap of around 10 to 15 minutes to 20 minutes, which we call it as a power nap also, which is usually required by the people who are involved into a strategic planning kind of profile, and those who are involved in where more of the brain activities are required, like programming and all. So definitely they require that nap, but it doesn't affect your night sleep because this nap is slowing down your nervous system and putting them back in action. It's like switching off the machine and then turning it on. But when we are talking about an afternoon sleep, which we mistakenly Indian culture call it as nap of 2 hours or so, then definitely it will cause alteration into your night sleep. So that is something which should be avoided, and that is something which we should not do, because that disturbs our digestive tract also. Because when we sleep, there are various juices which get secreted into our stomach and intestines for their back end work. of absorption and all. So we are kind of mixing the two things. So definitely it increases, in fact, our acidity, our constipation, our gastrointestinal problems, and also slows down our peristaltic movements of intestines.
Okay, okay. Any suggestion you can give on the eye exercises, given the, as you said, WHO said that 72% time has been increased. So any suggestion on that, how to sort of take care of it?
Yeah, as I just said during my discussion, is the first thing we all should do is you should put refreshed tears. Or it's a normal saline. It's not a medicine. It's a normal saline drops, which are easily available with all the chemists, and they all are open. So we have to put 2 drops of them on both the eyes every 2 hourly. We have to try to wash our face and eyes with the cold water as many times as possible during the day. It helps to relax them. It helps our optic nerve to get reduced with its stimulation level, which get increased. Because you must have seen that when we are on screen for longer period of hours, we kind of feel that the heat is coming out of our eyes. So that's an extra stimulation of the optic nerves which happen. And then we need to do the closing and opening eye, blinking movement of the eye, which we have to do more. And at sometimes we can do this also, is that we can put fingers on our eyes and then open it and then close it. So this will also help. So this will also help us in creating a kind of pressure releasing mechanism for our eyes.
Okay. Okay, that's I think you partly answered that. Is there any alternative to exercise if a person cannot do an exercise, and what is the ideal time duration for the same?
See, agree to your point again, because there are some situations where we cannot do them. The only thing is then we have to take care of our diet a lot. We have to include a lot of antioxidants into our diet. Dr. Modi also told about that for our skin. But for eyes, we need to include a lot of antioxidant. We need to take more of carrots into our diet. We need to include more of water into our diet. And we need to take care of more of the vitamin A and E products, so that at least we are able to take care. And then yes, if you cannot exercise, then you need to invest into the technology. We need to take care of our LCD screens. We need to wear headgears with the radiation protection, so that at least we are taking care of them and doing a justice to ourselves.
Okay. Wait a second. So this one is about the water content. You said more water content. Anything in terms of quantity you can say that how much water content one should be taking during day? It's a summer time, but we are still inside our home. So what would be an ideal intake for water?
Yeah. So Deepak, since now the weather is also changing, it's summertime and we are using ACs as well, which are causing direct damage to our eye, to our skin, taking away all the water content of our body and all. So 5 liters of water is a minimum intake which everyone should have. Okay. But yes, to start with, those who don't take even 2 liters of it, 5 liters sounds impossible, so they will not even try for 2 liters. So they can start with at least 3 liters of water a day, and then slowly increasing. But yes, ideally anything between 5 to 8 liters is a good quantity. Of course, it depends from the weight to weight also. The people who are with the more weight need to have more of water, because toxic contents need to be washed. So minimum 5 liter has to be there.
Okay. You have to clarify one WhatsApp myth now. So the question is, many people on social media and chats are suggesting to have arsenic 205 ml liquid, 1 drop with lukewarm water, 3 days in empty stomach for preventing corona. Is it true or just a myth?
See, Deepak, first of all, I must tell you that this new university which has come up, a WhatsApp university, and it has qualified so many doctors and all across, including our own family members around. This is something which is very dangerous. We should not go in for any unauthentic thing. That is why Ayush department and Government of India have clearly issued instructions not to take any medicine just like that, no matter even if it is a homeopathy. All Dr. Batra store across India, all Dr. Batra's clinics across India are having immunity medicines, which we are giving to all our patients, the family, anybody can go and take it. It's 6 doses. You have to take twice a day for 3 days. And it helps you to increase your immunity and fight against various bacteria and viruses. So you can go for that. But self-medication is something which we, even as a homeopath and as a doctor, would always guide you not to do. Because we need to understand people, type, their body, various diseases, their various susceptibilities and all, and then accordingly we need to go.
Yeah. So basically, you're saying that people should focus on developing the immunity rather than going for looking for prevention of corona, which is still to come. That would help them better, and that could be done under Ayush or many other ways. Immunity can be developed. Maybe you can give a couple of tips on immunity side also, if you have something to share apart from what you are doing at Dr. Batra's. That what would help someone to develop or rather strengthen the immunity. So can you give some tips on that?
See, when we are talking about immunity, we are talking about again both the physical and the mental aspect. So the mental aspect to it is that we have to take care of our mental well-being, which is in the form of doing regular meditation and bonding with the family and taking care of our pressure. We need to understand those and then try to cut out as many, these WhatsApp things and screen times unnecessarily, for Facebook, Instagram and all that. And physically, we need to do workout. We need to exercise. We need to flush off toxins from our body. That's the only way by which we can actually increase our immunity. And these days, I just forgot to share that tip. These days, since lots of pollens are there in the environment, so we are getting so many respiratory patients getting aggravated. So very small tip I'll share with all of you is that for corona, any which ways we are wearing a mask, but even when in your house where you have lawns and all, and you are walking in the morning or in the late evenings, please wear the mask or cover your face with the nose with the hanky, and take lukewarm water, sips of lukewarm water after coming from outside, so that whatever pollens and all have been sticking to your mucous membranes of nose or of the mouth, they get settled or washed off into your digestive tract, and they should not bother you. And still, as I told you, all across India, Dr. Batra's, we are distributing immunity medicines to our patients. So anytime you can get in touch and you can take those medicines and increase your immunity as well. And in your diet, you need to include more of fruits, more of uncooked food. By which I mean that we should go for capsicum, bell peppers, carrots, all uncooked, and then take it, because that has more of antioxidant qualities, and they definitely help to boost up our immunity to much higher level as compared to the cooked food. And we should avoid all those junks and all that white flour and all to as less as possible.
Okay. I think someone is asking, which I don't know whether you can answer that, but this is on a mask, whether cotton fabric masks are better or synthetic fabric masks are better. So you have any?
See, definitely. When we are talking about anything to use at home, we can go in for a cotton cloth mask, which we need to then wash frequently. But yes, whenever we are talking about moving out of the house, neither cotton nor synthetic cloth mask will help. We need to use one-time usage if you're using for a surgical mask, and then if we are going to a red zone or containment area, then definitely N95 mask, and nothing less than that works.
Okay. Great. I think we are done with the questions, and we are also out of time. So I just would like to thank Dr. Bhavneet to you for sparing your time with us and giving us valuable tips. I hope people would take that in true spirit and see that they implement it back home. I will also try to do some of them which I'm not doing, and then hopefully it helps us better. And thank you all of you, all the participants, for joining us. Wish all of you healthy and safe stay at home. And
thank you.
Thanks to you, Deepa, and thanks to Fiki for inviting us to talk and propagate healthy tips as much as possible so that all across our humanity have a happy quarantine and come back as a healthy and much mentally and physically healthy warriors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.